What happens when fame and tragedy collide? Some of the world's most celebrated figures have found themselves at the center of heartbreak, not for their achievements, but for the lives they've taken.
Hernandez, the hands that caught so many touchdown passes, in handcuffs today as he was led into court, charged with the brutal murder of his friend Odin Lloyd.
Whether through reckless choices or tragic accidents, these moments shattered lives and altered their legacies forever. Today, we'll uncover the stories of famous people who killed someone. Part 2, a haunting mix of accidents, recklessness, and the lasting consequences of their actions. How can a single night of recklessness destroy so many lives? Henry Ruggs, once a rising NFL star for the Las Vegas Raiders, had it all: fame, fortune, and a bright future. But on November 2nd, 2021, it all came crashing down, literally.
Henry Ruggs is now facing felony DUI charges after a fiery crash left at least one person dead.
Ruggs had spent the evening drinking at a Vegas golf venue before getting behind the wheel of his Chevrolet Corvette with his girlfriend. Driving at an unbelievable 156 miles per hour on city streets, Ruggs collided with a Toyota RAV4 driven by 23-year-old Tina Tintor. Tina was a recent college graduate with dreams of becoming a computer programmer. Her golden retriever, Max, was her constant companion. That night, the pair were just minutes from home when Ruggs' car struck theirs. The force of the crash pushed Tina's car over 570 feet and ignited it in flames. Witnesses heard Tina screaming but couldn't save her or Max as the fire consumed the vehicle. Ruggs had a blood alcohol level of 0.16, twice the legal limit. He was charged with DUI resulting in death and reckless driving. Tina's grieving family spoke of her kindness and love for animals, while the tragedy highlighted the devastating consequences of irresponsible decisions. What happens when trust turns fatal? On June 25, 2009, the world lost a legend, Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Behind the scenes, however, a web of negligence was unraveling.
The doctor for Michael Jackson is in court for sentencing today following his conviction for manslaughter.
Dr. Conrad Murray, Jackson's personal physician, had been hired to help the star manage his chronic insomnia as he prepared for his comeback tour, This Is It. Desperate to sleep, Jackson insisted on using propofol, a surgical anesthetic, as a nightly aid. Despite the risks, Murray complied. But on that fateful morning, he left Jackson unattended after administering a dose. By the time he returned, Jackson wasn't breathing. Paramedics rushed him to a hospital, but it was too late. Investigations revealed Murray's gross negligence. He lacked proper equipment to monitor Jackson and delayed calling 911. Convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2011, Murray served 2 years of a 4-year sentence. Jackson's death devastated fans, but it also raised questions about the ethics of celebrity medicine. What happens when poor choices destroy innocent lives? On June 27, 2010, actress Amy Loane, best known for Melrose Place, attended a cast party in New Jersey. After several drinks, she got behind the wheel of her SUV, speeding home. Her reckless driving ended tragically when she rear-ended a Mercury Milan as it turned into a driveway. The crash killed 60-year-old Helene Seaman, a beloved grandmother and kindergarten teacher. Helene had been returning home with her husband, Fred, who suffered severe injuries but survived. Witnesses said Loane was driving over 50 miles per hour in a 35-mile zone. Her blood alcohol content was nearly 3 times the legal limit. During the trial, Loane tearfully expressed regret.
I already said that I was sorry in my first sentencing. I just don't think you have to say it again.
But her 3-year sentence was heavily criticized as too lenient. Fred Seaman's emotional pleas for justice underscored the devastating cost of drunk driving. How did a day of filmmaking turn into a fatal tragedy? On October 21, 2021, the set of Rust in Bonanza Creek Ranch, New Mexico, became the site of a devastating accident.
Alec Baldwin's accidental shooting incident on the set of his movie Rust.
Alec Baldwin, rehearsing a scene with what he believed to be a cold gun, one with no live ammunition, pulled the trigger. To everyone's horror, the gun discharged a live round. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was struck in the chest, collapsing as crew members rushed to her aid. Director Joel Souza, standing behind her, was injured. Hutchins, a 42-year-old rising star in the industry, was airlifted to a hospital but tragically succumbed to her injuries. Souza survived. The investigation revealed shocking failures. Armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, responsible for weapons safety, faced scrutiny after live ammunition was discovered on set, an egregious violation of industry standards. Earlier that day, crew members had walked off in protest over unsafe working conditions, including reports of accidental gun discharges. Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed were charged with involuntary manslaughter, although charges against Baldwin were later dropped. The tragedy exposed systemic negligence and raised urgent questions about safety in Hollywood. Hutchins' death remains a stark reminder that even in the world of make-believe, mistakes can have deadly consequences. How does a man go from NFL stardom to a life of crime and tragedy? On June 17, 2013, the body of Odin Lloyd, a 27-year-old semi-professional football player, was discovered in an industrial park near Aaron Hernandez's North Attleboro, Massachusetts home. Lloyd had been shot multiple times, execution style. Lloyd, who was dating the sister of Hernandez's fiancée, had spent the evening with Hernandez and two associates, Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace. The motive for the murder remains unclear, though prosecutors suggested tension stemming from a nightclub altercation. Evidence against Hernandez was overwhelming. DNA on a blunt found at the crime scene, surveillance footage showing Hernandez holding a gun, and shoe prints matching his sneakers. In 2015, Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. However, his story didn't end there. He was later acquitted in a separate trial for a 2012 double homicide, but remained in prison. In 2017, Hernandez died by suicide in his cell.
After a former Patriot star was discovered dead in his cell, authorities say it was a suicide.
A posthumous examination revealed he suffered from severe chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, raising questions about the role of brain trauma in his violent behavior. His rise and fall remain one of the most shocking tragedies in sports history. What drives a man to destroy his family? On May 19, 2014, Michael Jace, known for playing a cop on The Shield, became a criminal in real life.
Michael Jace was sentenced today in downtown Los Angeles. A judge gave him 40 years to life in prison for killing his wife.
During a heated argument in their Los Angeles home, Jace shot his wife, April, twice in the legs and then once in the back. Their two young sons, ages 8 and 5, witnessed the horrific act. Jace reportedly accused April of wanting a divorce, and his financial troubles compounded his anger. In court, he showed little emotion as his wife's family recounted the devastation he caused. Convicted of second-degree murder in 2016, Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. April's death highlighted the silent epidemic of domestic violence, leaving a shattered family and two boys to grow up without their parents. For these celebrities, the spotlight couldn't obscure the weight of their actions. Some were careless, others simply unlucky, but all of them carry the burden of lives lost. Do you believe justice was served in these cases, or does fame still provide a shield? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more revealing stories about the hidden truths behind celebrity lives. Fame can't rewrite the past, but together, we can keep asking the questions that matter. See you next time.